So if we take a speech like Macbeth's last soliloquy, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, which, to crudely summarize, is a description of total blackness, total despair, that life is finite. It isn't enough just to say that and put that quality of despair into the voice and just hope it and just follow the rhythms. You've got to do many more things as well. You have to think and have analyzed in rehearsal totally, so that your imagination, being fed by the concrete metaphors, concrete images, pictures, can then feed through into the body, into gesture, into timbre of voice, into eyelids, into every part of the actor's makeup. Satan says to Macbeth, "The Queen, my lord, is dead." And Macbeth replies, "She should have died hereafter," which is a short line. She should have died hereafter, indicating that there should be a pause in performance. With the audience rather around me as you are now, I used to take that advantage of that pause to catch the audience's eye and begin the soliloquy, which is Macbeth, me, the actor, to talking directly, sharing my thoughts with you, the audience. Hereafter introduces one element of time, the future. Then we get a regular blank verse line. There would have been a time for such a word. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. There would have been a time, stressed, time, the speech is about time, for such a word. Word is the last line. The word is leading on to the next line, and here comes the word which is important, tomorrow. And tomorrow, and tomorrow. There are only two words in that line, an irregular line, given weight by its repetition 3 times. And the tripping of there would have been a time for such a word slows down on tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. The rhythm is important. It's also a nonsense word if you say it 3 times, or if you say it 20 times, like a kid skipping tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. What does that word mean, tomorrow? It's beginning to have the lack of meaning, I think, that Macbeth detects in his own life at this point. The rhythm is beginning to creep, is beginning to plod, like someone plodding along a country lane. It's footsteps now, not the tick-tock of a clock, creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Well, we've had tomorrow. We've now got today at the end of the line, from day to day, but it leads on to the next line to, not day, but the last syllable of recorded time, and it slows up even more, ending up with a very important word, time, at the end of the sentence. All our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death, and that's where the sentence ends, in the middle of the next line. But one has to carry on and speak it as a line and a half. All our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. What is the image there that I must have clearly in my mind, so that I can get the right emotion of despair? It's what? It's a fool walking along a dusty path, plodding, creeping, with petty pace. A fool is what? A village idiot? Wandering along a country lane with, what, a guttering candle? That line is completed with the shock of the harsh rhythm of out, out, brief candle. The fool's candle has caught a gust of wind and is blown out, and he collapses into a dusty death in the unmade road of Elizabethan England. The last candle or light we saw in the play is Lady Macbeth's candle, which she was carrying in her sleepwalking scene, and she is dead. It's Lady Macbeth's death which is being talked about in the speech. It is the fool's death, village idiot's death. It's going to be Macbeth's death. It's going to be everybody's death. When we get on to the next line, which is life's but a walking shadow. Walking gentleman is a phrase we still use in the theatre, meaning someone who is available in any company to walk on and play a meagre part. He's the lowliest member of a company. But life is not even a walking gentleman, he's a walking shadow, less than even the meanest player. And the line is completed by a poor player. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player. because we're now talking about players and the audience who know they are an audience, know that McKellen playing Macbeth is an actor. They are beginning to be drawn into Macbeth's dilemma as Macbeth relates it to a player, to an actor. That's a regular line that struts and freps his out upon the stage, and then is heard no more. End of sentence, end of thought. Middle of the line, however. It is a tale told by an idiot. Idiot reaches back into the fool who was walking along the country lane with a candle that went out. Full of sound and fury. End of line. And the last line is signifying nothing. And the beats of the rest of that pentameter are not there, because the end of the speech is total silence, total oblivion, total emptiness. So much one could say about it, but just let me run through the last lines, of the last words of each line, and you will see that they add up to what the speech is all about. Hereafter, word, tomorrow, today, time, fools, candle, player, stage, tale, fury, nothing. I must have all that in my mind as I'm going through it. Not so that you, the audience, can understand those complexities, because I'm not giving a lecture. I think the poetry and the rhythm and all those devices that Shakespeare uses are not for the audience's benefit, they are for the actors, so that having absorbed them into his heart and his mind, he can then express them with all the other things at his command, which are his body, his facial expression. And if the production is working well, the way the production is blocked, is arranged, the way the scenery is painted, and the way the lights are lit.